This is a review for the LG LP1419IVSM. Under the old standard for measuring cooling capacity, this unit was a 14,000 BTU unit. Under the new standard, its capacity drops down to about 10,000 BTUs. So why the large drop in BTUs there, going from the old standard to the new standard? Well, it has to do with the way in which the new standard is measured, the method by which it's calculated. The old standard didn't account for two major portable air conditioner inefficiencies, while the new standard does take into account those inefficiencies. Those inefficiencies are, first of all, the heat that the unit radiates back into the room via its ducting. On this LG unit, the duct is attached to it right out of the box. So you can see the duct right here. And that duct is a large diameter hose that's made of a thin plastic. And because it's made of that thin plastic, because it's not insulated, and because it carries hot exhaust air out of the unit and through the window bracket out to the outdoors, it radiates heat back into the room quite readily. And the new standard takes into account that heat that's added back into the room. The old standard does not. The other major inefficiency involves the fact that all portable air conditioners, including this LG model here, create an area of low pressure inside of the room that they are conditioning. The condenser on this unit, and on this unit it's right down here, the condenser takes in air from the room without replacing that room. So it's taking in air and it exhausts it out here. And as it does so, it's never replacing the air that it's exhausting. And because it's not replacing that air, an area of low pressure is created inside the room, and it's a low pressure compared to the higher pressure of hot outdoor air. And what happens is, because of that pressure gradient that's created there, the hot outdoor air is constantly getting pulled into the room that's being conditioned. And that hot outdoor air will find its way into the room by whichever way that it possibly can. And that heat that is added by that outdoor air, it's called infiltration air formally. That infiltration air, the heat added by that infiltration air, is also accounted for by the new standard. The new standard is called seasonally adjusted cooling capacity. It also involves measuring cooling capacity at particular temperatures, in addition to accounting for those two inefficiencies. And that new standard, called seasonally adjusted cooling capacity, SAC for short, SAC is going to always be a lower number than the number that was calculated by traditional methods that involves this unit being a 14,000 BTU unit. So the drop going from traditional BTUs to SAC BTUs is substantial. For this unit, the LG here, the drop is 4,000 BTUs. So it goes from 14,000 BTUs to 10,000 BTUs on the new standard. And what that means is that those two inefficiencies, in addition to the fact that the measurements are now taken at different temperatures, all of that combines for a loss of 4,000 BTUs. Now, that is a substantial drop in BTUs, but relative to other units on the market, it's actually much less of a drop. In the 14,000 BTU category, we see units dropping all the way down to 7,500 BTUs to 8,000 BTUs. Even the dual hose Winter Arc 14S drops down to 8,900 BTUs. So we see a substantial drop for all units on the market, all 14,000 BTU units, and even certain dual hose units in the 14,000 BTU size class have more of a drop than we see with this LG. And so this LG is actually a highly efficient portable air conditioner compared to its competition, even though it still has a substantial drop due to its inherent inefficiencies like all those other models. So what does that mean in a real world application? Now, we tested several models, including this LG, in a 150 square foot environment. And in that environment, we saw a substantial difference in performance between models that have over 9,000 BTUs on the SAC scale compared to units that have less than 9,000 BTUs on the SAC scale. So the 9,000 plus BTU units cooled the room much quicker and to a much greater extent than the units that were lower on that SAC scale. And so there is a substantial performance gain to be had here by going with a higher SAC unit like this LG. Now, we do get into more details regarding our testing in our written review. We'll have a link to that in the description of this video if you're interested in the specifics there. But suffice to say here that you see a substantial difference in performance when you go to a 9,000 plus BTU unit on the SAC scale, which this unit fits that qualification quite well. Now, performance is definitely the most important factor that you want to look at. Actual cooling capacity, that is definitely the most important factor that you want to look at when making a purchase decision, and this LG does very well there. However, another concern that is also important is energy efficiency. All portable air conditioners draw a lot of power. This LG is no different. It draws close to 1400 watts of power, operating on cooling mode on maximum fan speed. And so this unit draws a lot of power. And so energy efficiency is important because drawing that amount of power over a large period of time is going to result in a cost. And that cost, the extent of that cost, is going to be dictated by the energy efficiency of the unit. Now, there are several methods to calculate energy efficiency. In the past, EER was used, which involved taking the traditional BTUs that were measured and dividing that by the watts. We don't really like that method because traditional BTUs are not really indicative of the actual cooling capacity of the unit. What we like to do is take the seasonally adjusted cooling capacity and divide that by the watts, and that gives us a good idea. The ratio that is formed there gives us a good idea of what the actual energy efficiency is of the unit. And when we do that for this LG, we see a higher ratio than we do with any other unit on the market. So despite the fact that this unit has a higher power draw than, say, 8,000 or 10,000 BTU units by the traditional standard for measuring BTUs, even though it has a greater power draw than those units tend to draw only about 1,000, maybe 1,100 watts. This unit draws closer to 1,400, even though it draws more power because it gives you so much more cooling capacity, seasonally adjusted cooling capacity. The ratio ends up being higher, which indicates a greater energy efficiency. Now, cooling capacity and energy efficiency are by no means the only attributes of a particular portable air conditioner. It also makes noise. It also is a particular size, weight, etc. However, when it comes to those other attributes, most portable air conditioners have very similar performance. This unit we have on the table today is a large and heavy appliance. However, it is just as large and heavy as most other portable air conditioners on the market. It's even just as large and similarly heavy as units that are at a much lower seasonally adjusted cooling capacity. In terms of noise, this unit does have dual inverter technology for its compressor. However, the compressor noise that we found with this unit was very similar to the compressor noise you find on a unit with a standard compressor. So yes, there are certain energy efficiency benefits to be had by the compressor that's in here, but in terms of noise output, it really makes no difference. This unit makes the standard compressor buzzing noise that you want to drown out with turning the unit on a high fan speed, just like you would want to with every other unit on the market. Now, one other attribute that is unique for this unit is the fact that it does give you the ability to turn its control panel lights off. There's actually a method by which you can just adjust the brightness, so you can turn it to be slightly less bright, or you can turn it completely off. So if you were to use this LG in a dark room at night and you're sensitive to lights, for most other portable air conditioners on the market, you would have no option other than to maybe tape over the control panel or do something like that to mitigate the light that it broadcasts through its control panel. With this unit, you can turn off those lights. It will still operate normally. It just won't have the control panel lights on there. And that is a unique feature for this LG unit. Another more unique feature of this unit is the fact that it comes with this duct pre-installed. Most of the units require you to install the duct onto the unit itself. The fact that this duct is pre-installed makes the unit easier to store since you don't have to keep that duct in a box separately. You can just have it on the unit itself through the storage season. This unit also comes with this holder on the back here that you can place the window kit into. All the window kit pieces fit into that holder there, and that's another unique feature that most other portable air conditioners do not have. So breaking down this unit's performance in terms of pros and cons, probably the biggest advantage that it has over most of the portable air conditioners on the market is its high seasonally adjusted cooling capacity. Again, we cannot stress how important this is for a particular portable air conditioner. This is the most important feature that you should be looking at, and this unit has the highest seasonally adjusted cooling capacity of any unit on the market, at least at the time of this video. So that is a very strong positive for this unit. It's going to allow you to cool rooms quicker and more efficiently than most other units on the market. Speaking of efficiency, this unit is also one of the most energy efficient units on the market. And so it also does very well there. That is another strong positive for it. Otherwise, the unit also exhibits very good durability. Now, in general, most portable air conditioners feature very similar build quality. This unit is just a slight cut above most other units. There's small things on the unit that make it slightly better quality than other units, at least from things that we can observe just looking at the unit on the outside here. It's just slightly better built with slightly better materials than most other portable air conditioners on the market. So it should be slightly more durable over the course of ownership. Another positive is the low installation difficulty for this unit. This unit does come with an extensive window kit. It does come with a extensive weather stripping kit. And both of those things combined make for a simpler installation, a better installation than you will have for most other units on the market. So that's another strong positive for this unit. Finally, we can reiterate the easier storage on this unit. Again, it has the duct that's pre-installed on the back. It has this compartment in the back where you can keep the window kit for storage. So you do have easier storage with this unit, and that's another strong positive for it. Now, in terms of negatives, the negatives here for this unit are the same negatives that you find for most other portable air conditioners on the market. The unit is noisy. On high fan speed, on operating on cooling mode, the unit makes a lot of noise. It's not a particularly unpleasant noise. It's a fan noise, an air noise. If you can imagine air moving through an opening, moving at a high speed, that's the noise that you hear on this unit, like you do with every other portable air conditioner on the market. The bottom line here, though, is that that noise is substantial. This is not a quiet appliance by any means. The second negative is the lack of portability with these units. Yes, they all come with casters installed on the bottom. However, they are very heavy appliances. They are very large appliances. So if you need to carry them upstairs, if you need to carry them out of a car, anything like that, they are going to be difficult to move for many users. So that is definitely another negative for this unit, the same as it is for most other portable air conditioners though. Now, wrapping things up here for this unit, what can we say in conclusion? In conclusion, we can say that this is, at least at the time of this video, the best portable air conditioner on the market. There is simply no other unit that cools faster, that keeps the room cool better. There's simply no other unit on the market with a higher seasonally adjusted cooling capacity. And that number is the magic number that you need to look at when buying a portable air conditioner. This unit's number is higher than it is for all other models currently on the market. At 10,000 BTUs, you're getting substantial cooling capacity in the portable form factor here with this portable air conditioner. So that is definitely the strongest positive for this unit, and that is also the reason why we recommend it as the best portable air conditioner on the market. There are other positives. Again, the compartment on the back there for easy storage, the hose being pre-installed for easy storage, the high energy efficiency on this unit, the above average build quality on this unit. There are other strong positives for it as well, but overall, we cannot stress enough how cooling capacity is just by far the most impactful factor when it comes to using a portable air conditioner on a day-to-day basis, and this unit just does it better than any other portable air conditioner currently on the market.